Today, I'm going to show you guys how to form the Holy Roman Empire. I'm going to be starting as Bohemia because I think Bohemia is in the strongest position to do this. So anyhow, let's jump into it. Actually, before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subs. I'm pretty close. If you guys want to help me out, that'd be a huge milestone. We'll start with our government reforms. I'm going to pick diplomatic traditions, and then hold off 1342, where we unlock a new set of reforms. And that's because the Second Age starts. And I'll show you guys what we're going to grab in just a minute. I'm also going to take away the communal lands privilege from the commoners because it pushes decentralization quite heavily. But we'll go ahead and grant them common militias to make up for it, as well as represented in parliament. I'm going to grant the nobility elaborate court life, as well as elite council. For privileges in general, I'll go through them, but I generally just like to grab any privileges that push us to have better estate satisfaction without hurting us too much. For example, the privilege right here would be great. Doesn't really have any negatives for me, and it makes the estates more happy. Although I don't want to drop below 50 legitimacy to start, so I'll just grab those to start. Let's jump into our economy page here. We're going to mint to 0. Make sure we're taxing all our estates to the max. Max cost of court, and then we're going to turn off everything else. I'm going to start by building a surgeon tree for the crown power it provides. And then I'm going to change society value towards centralization and stabilize country. And just go ahead and grab whichever cabinet members are the best, respectively. Rival Poland and Hungary. Going to have to up our diplo slider actually here. Forget we have quite a bit of subjects to start. Research, we're just going to head towards institution growth as well as diplo capacity. And then for our precious metal distribution, we're going to regulate the export. And we're going to hold off on spending any money because we're going to unlock a law that makes roads cheaper in just a bit here. Just jump it up to 5 speed. We could improve a little bit with some of the electors just to make sure that we're elected as the emperor. Although generally we will be. Some just improving relations with Cologne and Mainz. We have a historical event here where we can become more friendly towards Poland and Hungary. Or we can go get a claim on throne. I'm actually going to go with the historical choice, even though we just rivaled them. Mostly because I want the money. But I will have to grab some new rivals. It doesn't really matter who I rival. But I do need to make sure we start improving with all our subjects. We're going to want to be annexing all of those. We got a historical event to get a royal court. I'm going to go ahead and pick that option. It helps with crown power. For automation, I just like to automate trade and replace admiral and replace generals. I'm just going to build a few scriptoriums to start. We need access to books in order to build libraries and universities a bit later. And we can just build quite a few. Go to our first parliament. And we're just going to pick something that the nobility is backing since we have such high support with them. But we're looking to do 2 law changes here. I'm going to swap the admin system to autonomous councils for the legislative efficiency, because legislative efficiency is like AE reduction. And then we're going to do a second law change for royal court customs, and again, grabbing more legislative efficiency. And if we can get a third law through, we're going to try to. But that can be difficult. It looks like we're going to be able to do that. The third law change we're going to do is the distribution of power. I'm going to swap it to favor the common people, just because the commoners make you the most money in the early game. And so being able to tax them more is beneficial. We get a historical event to build a cathedral. Go ahead and pick that up. And we can build a couple of roads too. We're going to want to eventually build roads everywhere we can here. I'm going to go ahead and build some troops. Just 100 footmen, so I can get a little bit more crown power by putting someone from my crown in there. So we start improving with 9 subjects, and we're just going to turn off diplo spending and let that tick up, more or less. So Age of Renaissance is here. We're going to go ahead and pick up admin. Admin gives even more legislative efficiency, which remember is kind of like AE reduction. That's kind of something we're focusing on. Then we have access to more government reforms, as mentioned. And we're going to be picking up plutocratic ethos for even more legislative efficiency. You can kind of see a theme here of stacking that AE reduction. Meanwhile, though, we're just building some more roads. So here we make tons and tons of money and can kind of get roads going up pretty fast. I'm going to go ahead and put my king into the army here. Again, that's just to boost our crown power. 26% now. We've been elected as the emperor. This is great. We're going to hit, we must lead the Ghibellines to victory. And we get an event here when we become the emperor. And it's going to give us a 10 authority. We'll make the nobility happy, and every elector gets some opinion, so pretty solid one. And as soon as we hit 40 authority, we're going to go ahead and get the golden bull. This sets up all the Holy Roman Empire laws, and we'll show you guys what it looks like in a bit. I'm going to go ahead and start researching legislative efficiency in our tech tree here, which is way down here, and then we can queue up proximity costs. So now that we have 40 authority, you can go into the fundamental laws, pick golden bull, and just vote for the seal of the golden bull. And this should always pass. People want this. And just to explain how we generate authority here, it's going to be mostly by our dynastic power. And simply how this works, we simply want to have the most population as possible to generate the most dynastic power. So it's going to push us to playing the game completely different than we play a normal nation. We don't really care about controlling the population. We just want a lot of population, which is going to be drastically different from playing any normal campaign. This will mean that we want to annex all our subjects and never create any new subjects. Because again, our authority growth is just based on our population that is inside the HRE. So we got parliament here. And this parliament, we're going to be wanting to grab a claim. Let's just go ahead and fabricate a claim against Poland. We're also going to try to grab another law change, if possible, I'm going to switch our law here to by blood for speed of integration. And just go ahead and declare war on Poland. See, he's allied to Hungary. And we need to up my diplomat spending for just a bit to pick up a diplomat to declare this war. And anytime people request privileges, you're totally good to just grab these out. They just give you money at no harm to you. You can see here that we've unlocked a bunch of new laws, and we're going to go through which ones we're going to do in which order. But for now, we just need to generate authority. And the Catholic Church is going to enact this bull over and over, which is really helpful for you. It's just going to give negative 20% antagonism received. Sometimes you'll have to pass this yourself. Generally, what you want to do with your points is whenever you have 50, you want to pass this one at the bottom. It gives you extra authority growth. I'm going to declare war on Poland. Normally, I would co-belligerate Hungary, but he's actually allied to Naples, which I don't want to fight, so not a big deal. And I'm just going to group up my units here. I'm going to consolidate and balance my troops. And I'm just going to go ahead and rush some forts of Hungary. You should be able to rush 1 or 2 forts at the start of a war. I've sieged on his capital. We get a little event here that gives us some prestige. And we're just going to take some battles now. And I'm just focusing on Hungary while I let my subjects deal with Poland. And when I say deal with, I mean get wrecked by Poland a little bit. Get another nice battle down here. We're kind of just, again, dealing with Hungary. We've got a scripted event here. That's to deal with Brandenburg. And I'm just going to pick the top option because it gives you a little bit of money. So Black Death is on its way. I'm just going to go ahead and build some hospitals, at least in Prague. This will help save some of our people. But I'm just trying to get Hungary to leave the war. I'm just kind of focusing him down. So I'm going to piece out Hungary. I'm actually just going for Reconquest with Transylvania. Just to show you guys how we look at Reconquest, I just go ahead and look at our Liberate Countries treaties and then toggle kind of where it is. And then just take one location from that area, like we're doing here, and go ahead and just end that war. And then we can focus on Poland. Our subjects are getting bullied a little bit. We got to help them out. We're just going to be able to crush Poland here, though. No worries. And unsiege some of our subjects. And we got a special road law that is super worth. It gives you negative 20% for the first 3 ages. Bit of decentralization, which we don't love, but I think it's going to be worth it. So Black Death has spread. And what we're going to want to do is go ahead and segregate the infected. This gives 15 disease resistance to the entire nation. And then I'm going to move the court into hiding because I don't want the emperor to die. If it happens, it happens. Anyways, we're just kind of getting through this war here. I'm trying to get my subjects unsieged. And it looks like the Black Death did claim the throne. It happens. It's fine. We'll get reelected and get us some authority. And this leader is insanely good. We really don't want him to die. Pray for him. And the reason he's so good is just because he has size stats, and that translates to authority. You can see here he's a 93, 91, 83, and only 31, so definitely going to pray for him. The sieges are taking quite a bit of time. It seems like Poland got some sort of event, though, that is ruining his siege defense. Good special event here that unlocks a very good policy that'll be helpful later. And to note, it did cost 20 stability and 20 state satisfaction, but it'll be worth it later. We've got an event to purchase the Electorate of Brandenburg, and we can go ahead and grab that. I'm going to go ahead and just grab this offer. It just makes a new prince for them. Go ahead and end the war with Poland. Just going to get as much war score as possible. And that war took quite a bit of time, but it's totally okay. And then we're going to need to go through and actually add locations to the H3 one at a time. I hope they add all button because this would be a bit tedious, but you know, it is what it is for now. Let me know if you guys find a way to add all provinces to the H3. I don't know that it's impossible. I just don't know how to do it personally. So I've gone ahead and added all those to the H3. And just to show you guys what that's going to do, you can see we have this dynastic power that it's at 0.15. On the month tick, it's going to readjust. You can see here it's up to 0.19 now. So that's kind of the idea, is that we just need to increase our population overall. And even though this land is not going to be integrated, that's going to be okay. Although it's not how I would normally play or would normally recommend to play. Again, this is a very unique type of blobbing and not really caring about the integration as much. And we're going to want to start annexing subjects as well. We've been improving with quite a bit. Just go through and start getting that done. We've kind of been improving with them since the game starts, so should be able to do quite a bit of those. And then we're going to kind of do a second wave of subjects. I was able to improve relations with about half of them. And then once those all annexed, we'll start improving relations with the other half. We do have Parliament up. We're going to use this Parliament to just probably get some money. So go ahead and request additional taxes and just up those taxes a bit. And I can also look for another law change. I'm going to go ahead and change our levy law from peasant levies to noble levies. This gives them a bit of a bonus. We've got a historic event for a offer of alliance with Brandenburg. And we can go ahead and grab that. I'm going to go ahead and create another subject. It's going to be a historical subject. Over here, if you recall, we grabbed that one location. I'm going to make them a vassal. We get a tiny bit of authority, but the important part is that we'll get Reconquest on Hungary a bit later. Our subjects are going to fabricate this claim, though, so it's not something that we can do or that we have to do. An event to build a university, which is totally good. We might run out of books, though. That often happens. Universities require a lot of books. Although we do have quite a bit of scriptoriums we built early on. And we also want to see if we can pick up some libraries. If we have enough books. Then I'm going to also check in on some roads. I want to build roads everywhere when we can. I'm going to improve with Austria, see if we can get an alliance going. And whenever we conquer land, I'm going to go ahead and just delete the forts. Mostly because we're not going to be able to integrate all this land. We're not really even trying to integrate all the land. So I have enough authority to pass my next reform. we're going to go into electorate laws, imperial voting, and go for vote for emperor dynastic preference. This is going to give us a bit more authority, but also kind of pushes us down this path here, which eventually will lead us to this emperor comfort policies +1. And we're going to need 5 of these comfort policies to form the HRE. And we can look at the voting here and just kind of see what everyone's voting for. And if there isn't enough votes for what we want, we can go ahead and bribe. And to bribe, we just need to go into any nation, into the economic tab, and just bribe voter. But in this case, I'm not going to need to do that. Looking at our roads, we've got basically all our roads going. To keep it simple, I like to just mass expand RGOs if we have extra money. And that's going to probably just expand a lot of gold for us, you can see. Gold and silver, but not a bad idea to expand our RGOs to max. We get an event here that has to do with Milan, and we can go ahead and pick the top option, historical event. So I'm going to declare on Hungary. We're going to use this falling through on threat. This is basically a Reconquest CB. And I'll go ahead and co-belligerate the Teutons. We have a lot less levies here because of the Black Death, but not a big deal. And Poland should be a lot weaker in this war, of course. But we are fighting the Teutons, so that could be a little bit scary. And we have a parliament, and go ahead and grab. I'm just going to grab some additional taxes from Parliament. And I'm just pushing down the Teutons first here. Got a historical event to get a alliance proposal with Austria. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm going to go ahead and separate piece the Teutons. Just grabbing a bunch of stuff here. You can see we are quite behind on war score, though, because we've just focused that down so hard. And, we've been getting sieged down. So we'll go back and deal with all that. Let's go ahead and make sure we're educating our child. Again, having good leaders is pretty critical for us because it affects our authority growth. And we'll go ahead and add all these locations to the HRE as well that we picked up from the Teutons. I'm going to go ahead and start improving with more of my subjects here. I probably need to up my diplomatic spending to be able to do that. And I'm just going to clean up my nation a bit. Do a bit of the reverse carpet siege. Looks like they got one of my forts even. There's no garrison here. Without professional troops, they can't really refill a garrison. So if they take a fort like that, we can just assault it. Yeah, we were just kind of cleaning up the sieges they were able to do while I was busy with the Teutons. We have a schism in the Catholic Church. This happens. Unfortunately, that means that we can't get our authority buff anymore for a little while. And we got an alliance offer with Austria. And go ahead and call him into this war. I don't think we need him, but, might as well. The Emperor died, which is too bad. Now I have a leader that is not quite so good, but, it happens. He died so young, I swear he was like 50. That's RNG for you. The Brandenburg Burden. We're going to offer Brandenburg to replace their leader for that different dynasty. I'll just peace out Lower Bavaria, white peace. I don't really need to do too much more. And I'm just going to go through and unsiege my subjects. They're definitely quite sieged down. End of the Black Death. We did lose quite a few people, but it happens. And more or less, we're just kind of racing down the AI again. They are more interested in, sieging me out than defending their land, which is fine. I'm just going to siege on all this stuff and avoid the fort. I'm going to peace out Poland. Just grab a bit of land. I'm not going to go for the full war score. This war has been going on quite a bit of time, and I have a white peace imminent in like 500 days. I mean, I have plenty of time, but just going to make sure I win the war in 500 days, or at least get the war goal in 500 days. I think it's just down to Hungary, though. I'm going to go ahead and add that land to the HRE. Made a bit of a bad choice here. We're sieging a fort with no food supply. Would not recommend, but in this case, we'll just have to send it. We'll go ahead and end the war here. Again, not too difficult of a war. I'm just going to grab a bunch of land here. I'm not going to take my guys' Reconquest cores because I want to keep that CB more or less. And you can see here, we kind of just got a bunch more land. And again, we're just going to add all that land to the HRE straight away. And we'll check our antagonism after this. We did take quite a bit of land in that war. So I've got all of it added to the HRE. I do want to go ahead and remove forts. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm not going to have very good control over these lands. In fact, 0 control. So a lot of rebels are probably going to be popping up. And I don't want to have to re-siege a bunch of forts. And looking at our antagonism map mode, you can see we're pretty chill still. Not too bad at all. Again, we did stack those modifiers quite heavily at the start, if you guys recall that. Though we do need to start improving those subjects, as I mentioned. I kind of got sidetracked. You can see how our dynastic power is up to 0.31. This is kind of the idea, just taking as much land as we can, getting as much land added to the HRE as possible. And even though it's not integrated and we have no control there, it's going to generate a lot of imperial authority, which is going to help us pass reforms. So it's a bit of a weird playstyle because, normally you wouldn't do something like this, but I think it's the exception with the HRE. And the idea is kind of that Bohemia is so rich that we're kind of paying for the rest of the land, but not getting any value. Again, this isn't what I would normally recommend. This is just a unique example, so don't go blobbing like crazy like this, or I wouldn't recommend blobbing like crazy like this. However, we're going to call a parliament, and we're just going to kick off another war. Again, kind of just being really, really aggro. This war here looks pretty doable. Do have to fight the Golden Horde, but I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. I didn't realize it, but I think this guy's actually a subject or a tributary. Okay, that makes some more sense. Not a big deal. I just didn't realize that relationship existed. But yeah, I guess we're a war with the Golden Horde. Looks good to me. Just going through improving with more subjects. Again, we want all the land for ourselves. Subjects do not count towards the dynastic power that we're kind of stacking. I'm going to go ahead and just detach some sieges here. Just keep pushing into the Golden Horde. I'm just going to set up a focus siege objective here. Again, we're just slowly pushing for the province capitals of the Golden Horde. The Golden Horde has basically no forts, so it is quite a convenient nation to invade. I'm just going to go ahead and end this war, get a bit more land here. Again, just kind of blobbing pretty aggressively, and then adding everything there to the HRE. I'm going to go ahead and pass my next law here in the imperial voting. We're going to vote for the emperor's successor preference. This will give us our first emperor comfort policy, 1 of 5. I'm going to claim with Lithuania. Again, we're being kind of wildly aggressive. And I did notice that there's a lot of locations owned outside of Germany by France and such, which is not great RNG, but instead of fighting France, we're probably just going to continue to expand over here. We'll get some additional taxes here as well, the parliament. I'm going to go ahead and declare war on Lithuania next. We can call it Austria. Let's go ahead and end the war with Lithuania. Again, just more land added to the HRE. I'm going to go ahead and improve relations with some of the coalition members here. Our authority growth's a little bit low because of so many locations owned by Flanders. It's not very normal to see Flanders push like this, but I could go for imperial ban in France, but I don't think that would end well. I'm going to annex some subjects here. I'm going to call Parliament, just going to get some money, request additional taxes. And I still have my Reconquest claim with Hungary. So go ahead and follow through on threat, or get a Reconquest going. We can call in Austria as well. I'll go ahead and separate peace first in the war. That, border gore can't have it. Same with this other guy. Just the gross border gore nations over here. I think it's hard to HRE land though anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and separate peace this guy here. Again, just more HRE land. It's a very weird way to play. You would not normally want to just expand rapidly like this. The idea though is that once I form the HRE, all this is going to be integrated, but you guys will see that a bit later. I do want to be a little bit careful of coalitions. For now, we're doing okay though. I'll go ahead and annex Poland and I'll inherit his subjects. And then we'll go ahead and focus on Hungary. We'll peace out Halych. And again, just adding this HRE. You can see we're going to have to deal with rebels for this. I mean, this is all this is all zero control, unintegrated land we're dealing with here, right? This isn't the normal way that you would play a nation. We got victory for the Ghibellines, which means that the Italy land is added to the HRE. So I'm gonna end the war with Hungary. I'm trying to get to Serbia for possible expansion. I have quite a bit of authority. I need to get a new law passed. I'm gonna go to the free city laws here, just under free cities, and I'm gonna go ahead and vote for cities of the Holy Roman Emperor. We're trying to increase these current number of policies benefiting the Emperor to 5. I'll grab professional armies. I'm holding off on grabbing it for a while because I'm not planning to get professional troops, but maybe we could go for cannons though. That wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm just gonna grab a bit from Wallachia. It doesn't connect to the HRE yet, but I figure eventually it will. I guess Bulgaria got called into the war. It's interesting. I don't think he was originally in the war. Bulgaria just will peace out, I guess, immediately. Okay. I don't really want to fight Bulgaria yet. So I'm just gonna grab as much as I can from Serbia. Trying to border other people too. Our antagonism's still looking pretty chill though with all that AE stacking. Now, not to mention we have really low crown power. So it's not, again, playing like this is not something you would normally want to do. Just want to stress that. Basically just trying to add as much land to the HRE as possible. Basically every parliament is just another war, so let's do it. So I'm going to go to war with Sever. Again, just kind of this wild aggression. And just to note, we do get a lot of rebels playing this way. So again, quick, easy war, grab more land. I just remember that bridges exist, and I always forget them. I need to build some bridges. They're great if you can. I just noticed we have a lot of authority. Let's get our second policy benefiting the Emperor passed. So we're going to go to the free city laws and go ahead. Just kidding, we can't do that. Okay, I got the wrong order here. We'll come back to that. Apparently we need policies that already benefit the HRE, so we got to go down the route of another one. So we're going to go to our electorate organization here, and let's go ahead and vote for limited electors. This makes it so you can take away 2 electors if you want. And just to reiterate, I'm not even bothering to integrate. There's just no way I could ever do that, right? It's so much unintegrated land. Basically not even worth trying. But I do want to get some annexations going. I'll grab the Renaissance. It's a bit expensive in stab, but worth it. I think the Renaissance is by far the best institution because it gives you extra cabinet seat as well as universities, cultural influence. Power projection is also handy. Just probably just really, really solid stuff. So the church is united once again, which I'm happy about. That means I can get some papables sooner than later. And I'm going to declare another reconquest with Hungary. Although Naples might be here, that's okay. I want to rush some forts with the Teutons. I'm just going to try to sit on the forts so that they don't grow in garrison. I believe that's how that would work. If we just stand on the forts, then we can, get there. And the garrison can't grow when we're already on the fort. Our boy is here. The Hussite event is here. We're not planning to go Hussite, but it might be a problematic time period for us. Win some battles here. Well, we're hoping to win some battles here, I guess. Yep, we did win that battle. It's hard to really deal with Naples, though. Could be a little bit hard anyways. Oh, yeah, the Teutons could be annexed. I better get rid of any castles because, again, rebels. I guess I've sieged out some nation up here that wants to be added to the HRE. I, of course, did ask ahead of time. Just to give an update, we currently get 0.67 from that dynastic power. Again, we started the campaign with about 0.15, so we've massively expanded that. And look, our control is insanely good. I don't really care to take Atri land. Again, that we're gonna, get that all in. Like, I could even offer a little bit of money for them to leave. Like, I don't really mind. I have to get to Naples, though. That's gonna be rough. But Naples is kind of an issue. Not that I can't fight him. It's just a matter of not being able to get him out of the war very easily. I have extra government reform. I'm not really sure what would be helpful, but I suppose royal decree is a good choice, especially considering that we aren't doing so well with crown power. And we have another cabinet action. I suppose I can just strengthen the government. Again, it's not really worth integrating any of our land because it'll be all integrated once we form the HRE way later. There's some nice nations here I could add to the HRE. Probably gonna run over there and do that. I have Parliament up too, so we could do another war after this. But yeah, you can see this play style is just like Giga War. It's a little bit different. I guess our Hussite boy is moving. Okay. I'm just gonna type piece this nation here, and then we're gonna go after Wallachia. But again, always need to add a land to the tree. I guess I actually don't connect here. I thought maybe I would, but I don't know if that'll be the case. My parliament is getting upset. I kind of just need to call it and then maybe get a claim for the future war. But I don't really know what the future war is. I'll figure something out though. I suppose we go to war up here. Again, it doesn't really matter where we expand, just that we expand. Got to have more people in our empire, more or less. Just population is everything. This guy was burnt at the stake. Heresy. There are forts that we can siege here, but man, yeah, it's gonna take a while. And if we get a second claim, I mean, yeah, you can see we're just like wildly aggressive. If we can get a claim on like Kiev or something, I don't even know who we'd want to declare war with on next, to be honest. Maybe Lithuania. I'll just offer Naples a bit of money to leave, bribe him a bit, and then we're just looking at a few other nations. But yeah, we got some forts to siege down here. I mean, we got a lot to siege, really. We got universities unlocked. I would love to build at least a couple. I don't have a lot of money though. This kind of play style is kind of like our little nation of Bohemia has to support all of this land. Our economy is getting worse and worse as we conquer more and more land. So again, this is why this is not a normal way of conquest. I'm gonna go with education of the people for our university law, more or less. Oh, I'm at war with Golden Horde? I don't remember being at war with Golden Horde. Oh, Hill White Peace. I'm gonna annex Wallachia. We do have this call for peace thing. We need to get the war goal eventually. The war goal is Torda. Okay. And I think we're probably close to being able to pass. And oh yeah, we have way too much authority. Oops. It starts to get going so fast. So we're gonna go ahead and go to our electoral laws, electoral organization, and we're gonna vote for integrated electors. So I'm gonna end the war. I'm gonna avoid taking the fort. However, but I should connect my land to a bunch of HRE land. Although I am a little bit worried about antagonism at this point. I am pretty aggressive. I guess I'm chilling. It's not too bad. Bulgaria might need to be improved with, but I guess, yeah, we're doing okay. And we have plenty of more land to add to the HRE now. We actually didn't connect to this land before, but now we should. We have tons to add here, though. Bohemia strikes again. No, actually, we need to strike again, though. You can kind of see, though, it's like, yeah, we're going to war, like, we're going to war at least once here in this campaign, yeah. Speaking of going to war once, Lithuania's got to be put down. And our authority growth is, getting higher and higher. But we can't keep expanding forever because we're trying to support all of this land off of just our original locations, right? We haven't effectively expanded it at all this game. We've expanded, but only as a map painter. Like, our actual value is basically zero as far as the expansion goes, right? And eventually we're going to annex Moravia. I've just been waiting because it's faster to annex smaller subjects. And this other guy's kind of stealing my war. So, I could just go to war with him. I'd be fine with that. I had a claim with him too. Just kind of like, he's stealing my war. It's not cool. Oh, I have rebels. I can't. Civil war. A lot of trouble crackdown. Get that going. I mean, I would just deal with the rebels, but I can't declare war if rebels are 95% of the way there. And let's do a castle check. Again, we get a lot of rebels throughout this campaign, and we want to make sure they don't have forts, because if they had forts, it's a lot more painful to get our land back. So we now have 2 policies benefiting the emperor, and our next reform should put us up to 3. You could say we're kind of about halfway done. So I have to wait for these rebels to go back below 95% before we can go to war. Grab our banking institution finally. It's not really a rush to get banking. I don't think banking is all that great. Let's go ahead and declare on the Siver. Just because they're kind of blocking us from being able to do this war properly. We have 40,000 levies now, so it's not terrible. But again, it's not insanely good. So it's kind of a really weird way to play. I suppose we'll just annex Lithuania. Ooh, Serbia's in the war. My boy. I feel like I can't keep up with all the wars we declare. I'm like, geez. I have a parliament's up again. The wars never end. I can grab this buff again that adds the imperial authority growth. Yeah, so currently we're getting 0.81. Again, ramping up and up and up. But our control gets lower and lower, and our economy gets more and more stressed the more land we have that's not controlled, more or less. I'm gonna go ahead and end the war here. Well, separate peace. This is definitely the most blob I've ever played in the EU5. It's kind of funny because it's like a throwback to EU4. Even at EU4, I feel like the blobbing level is kind of high. Let's start annexing Moravia finally. I mean, we've annexed most our subjects, if not all. Oh yeah, Serbia. I was gonna go bully Serbia a bit more. I keep accidentally having a ton of authority. I need to spend it. It's starting to generate so fast. I think I needed to grab direct imperial cities. My authority growth is so fast that it sneaks up on me. But yeah, let's just clever piece Serbia. That looks good. Oh yeah, we just need to annex Siver, or maybe not annex, but take some of their land. We'll take what we can and just, add to the tree, get rid of those forts, kind of the normal cleanup we're doing. We have parliament, which means we should go to another war. You can see it kind of just gets crazy, right? Just war, 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 and then war. No coalition, really. Maybe Hungary and so. I mean, Hungary is not long for this world, but we have a truce for a few more years. I guess we should go to another war, how it is. I don't know who. Maybe Bulgaria. So I suppose we'll just call parliament and get more and more claims. Push our nation further and further. Get a claim over here, and then probably get another claim down here on Bulgaria. Endless expansion. Kind of we are just going for endless expansion. Well, my game crashed. So we're back. When I raised all my armies, it didn't like it. I'm just struggling to add all that land back to the tree again. We gotta pass our law again. Deja vu, I know. I'm just gonna make similar peace deals. I don't really need to talk about it, right? You guys know what we already did. I'm gonna make a save just in case it crashes again. I think it's because I am raising levies from so many locations. It's kind of struggling, right? So I'm just grouping up my troops, and then we're gonna go after Bulgaria and Naples, I guess. All right, we passed our reform there. We got a bunch of subjects that are free cities, or we got some. And you can see we now have 3 policies that benefit the emperor. There's a lot of forts, though, in Bulgaria that we have to deal with. Bulgaria is a fort enjoyer, for sure, unfortunately. And he wants to base race. I should defend with 1 sec. There's base racing me, but I'm committed. I'll have to win one of these sieges eventually. I got some rebels to deal with, but they don't have forts, so... And there's going to be a lot of rebels throughout this campaign. It's not going to be like a one-off, As I said, it's not going to be a one-off. This is the rebel. But it is what it is. Can rebel crack down a little bit. These forts are just taking forever to siege. As I said, Bulgaria is quite the fort enjoyer himself. Trying to get some people moving up there to get the rebels handled. But I'm a little busy, fighting Bulgaria at the moment. Annex some of the rebels here. Yeah, we're just dealing with these guys. The Bulgaria war is mostly in hand, so it's fine. Annex this revolter. And then just need to go down, finish off Bulgaria. So I'm going to end the war with Bulgaria. I want to border the Ottomans just as a possibility, and I can go ahead and dissolve the Patriarch or keep it. I think if you keep it, you get tolerance, so I'd rather keep it. But yeah, let's go ahead and add that land. So it looks good. We need to get rid of Hungary. He's kind of in the middle of my nation now, right? A little bit of the border gore. He's a border gore enjoyer, turns out. The Golden Horde is protecting him. I think Hungary's a tributary of the Golden Horde. No, he's just allied to the Golden Horde. So that's all nature-y. We do have a lot of rebels, though. Again, we're kind of pushing our nation pretty hard here. But as a result, our authority is pretty good. We almost 0.9 a month. But we have to keep the ball rolling. The ball cannot stop rolling. I refuse to let it. I'll get to a fort quick. I'm trying to see if I can get these guys on some forts. Oh my god, this guy has so many forts. Can you please have a reasonable amount of forts? That's way too many. That's going to be painful to siege. It's like if I can get small stacks just to like hold the garrison, that might be worth. They're going to get murdered. There's so many forts though. I'm depressed already. I'm going to try to sneak like an assault or 2, but it's not really worth assaulting, once it gets the garrison. So many forts for Kiev. I don't even know if I can handle it. I could build cannons. I just don't feel like I can really sustain armories with the way that I'm pushing my economy. Yeah, I was able to block the garrison. I got rebels to deal with at home. I'll just send some guys back to deal with it. You can see there's tons of rebels, though, all the time. We're going to get Hungarian rebels here soon. We can handle it. I mean, we have to handle it. I just want to make sure, do a castle check, fort check, rather. Got to make sure don't have any, can't let the rebels have forts, or that's really bad. So that'll get you killed. I expect this war will take a little bit of time. And there's another rebellion that. Yep. But we're ready. Oh, the Orthodox Zealots kind of suck, though. Yeah, it's a bit of a civil war. We don't want civil war if we can avoid it, but I don't think I can avoid it. I can't really focus on the war, though. I have to kind of draw my attention away. They got the fort back? No. F. I didn't want that. Yeah, Kiev has so many forts. I'm like, I feel like I'm never going to be able to siege them all. Not without cannons, and I can't really afford cannons. If I was playing a normal campaign, I could afford cannons by now. But I have to stretch my economy to the edge of disaster, basically. It's okay. It'll all pay out eventually here, right? Let's annex the first revolter. Might as well just let the civil war happen if it's going to happen. Because we can't declare wars if civil wars are at least 95%. So we just kind of need to let that happen. It's just the Orthodox civil war. It won't be that bad. Is this a subject of Kiev or something? No, they just have a similar color. I'm like, okay. Thought maybe they'd be a subject because they're the same color. I'm going to start peace out this nation here, Vitebsk. Now listen, I wouldn't try to pronounce these things, but then people complain about me not trying to pronounce these things. So this is the result. Okay, I'm innocent. But yes, we are getting there here. Things are a little hectic. Oh, I'm at war with Hungary. No, never mind. I'm just saying things. Dreams of being at war with Hungary is all it was. But I'm just trying to deal with these wars. I kind of want to go after Kiev, but I feel like there's so many forts, I kind of feel hopeless. Like I'll be sieging that for ages. Maybe avoid the forts and just siege out everything else, but it's just forts. There's 13 forts in Kiev. That is unreasonable. Yeah, that's impossible. 13! Annex the rebels here. Freaking 13 forts. What do you mean? I don't know how to deal with the forts. Maybe we'll figure something out, I guess. Hey, I hit 10 million pops. I didn't realize. And I can start looking at my next laws. Next law I'm going to go for is actually in centralization laws. And it's the improved imperial authority. Might as well grab it. It gives you a bit of extra imperial authority growth. And you have to do it anyways, so it's not like I can avoid doing that. I sieged the fort. Let's go. It's like, do I want to stay here for like 5 years sieging forts? I'm not sure if it's worth. Plus, Parliament's up. I got wars I could be doing. I mean, the Orthodox Zealots are going to be here too. So Civil War is waiting for me. How exciting. We're having a siege off. A very thrilling siege off here. Kiev and the 13 forts. Yeah, this war's going on for 4 years. It's just slow going. I'm going to reapply my papal buff. But yeah, these forts are taking me a year to siege. We'll get there someday. They assaulted my fort. They can't do this. Oh, no. No, run. Before it gets more garrison. Go, hurry. How bad is it going to be? Okay, 60. We can deal with that. I sieged out 6 of the 13 forts. And I think that's all I want to do in this war. I'll be happy enough with that from Kiev. Took forever to siege, though. But hey, we can add it all. Make sure we do a council check. We're about to get a civil war after this. So I got to make sure there's no forts. It's not a civil war. I guess it's an Orthodox civil war. But you can see it's like all the Orthodox provinces I'm going to lose. We are annexing Moravia, but it's really slow. It's almost there. Lots of stuff to add to the HRE here. I've added a lot to the HRE. And you do have to add it to the HRE to get the authority growth, if you guys are wondering. Uh-oh, we're going into debt. I just noticed our first loan. Our cost of court is starting to get really expensive. We can only expand so much before our cost of court is too much. Hopefully it's not to that point. Like I need to close some buildings that I've inherited, like these monasteries, especially these Orthodox monasteries, you know? I mean, they're about to have a civil war anyways, so might as well close down their buildings. Oh yeah, I need to delete the 17 new castles I inherited. Go and annex Polosk. Again, forgive my pronunciations. We're about to get a civil war though. The Orthodox are fed up with my generosity. Okay, so here comes civil war. Did I delete all the forts? I hope so. And we're just going to carpet siege. We should just be able to carpet siege a civil war, I believe. Okay, so yeah, we're going to get in there and deal with all that. When, like, we took our first loan. We're starting to push our nation a little harder than is reasonable. Like, what can we do to cut back here? I mean, I think I just got to close my cathedrals. I don't really need this. So like looking at stuff, I'm like, yeah, we need to cut expenses a little bit. Again, this isn't a normal way to play the game, and I have to support. Basically, this economy here has to support this land here, or you know, all of the land for the temporary at least. But if I did a good job deleting forts, it shouldn't be a problem dealing with the civil war. Just carpet siege in there, and it'll be over in a short bit of time. And then we'll decide what war to go to next. We got Parliament up, and we also have a Reconquest on Hungary if we want. But I think we're coalitioned a little bit. I mean, slightly. The civil war is done. Wasn't too bad to deal with. And we have Parliament ready to go. You can see we're at 1.04 dynastic power, though. Money is hard because we have really expensive costs of court. I need to close some buildings. I cannot afford the billions of buildings that we have. Well, maybe that's not the problem. What is so expensive? Is cost of court always that expensive? Oh my god. I think it is. I'm going to need to strengthen my government. Again, cost of court is kind of putting a hard limit on what I can conquer a little bit. But if I strengthen my government, it'll help a little bit. But you can see I'm like not really making money anymore. It's time to go to another war. You know how it is. It's time. We've been at peace for almost a year. You know, that's way too long. So I'm going to fabricate a claim on Sivir, like the League character, for you League enjoyers. Hopefully she doesn't use Spell Shield here. We'll go declare war here. We'll probably get a second claim too. I don't know on who, but we'll figure it out. Oh yeah, we made it in time. Love to get an assault off before the garrison's filled. Annex Lithuania. All right, annex this guy here. Just kind of annexing the coalition. So I'm ready to pass another law here. We're going to go into socioeconomic and start getting the imperial tax laws through. And let's go and annex this nation here. Oops, I just assaulted my guys to death in a fort. It's okay, we have 11 million people. Should get some more guys in there. I can't annex Hungary, but I can take a little bit more of their stuff. Just gonna annex Sivir here. This works reasonable to me. Bulgaria, Serbia, and Sicily. Co-belligerate as well. Trying Trying to even get to this fort fast, you know, before we get. Oh no, it's okay. I'm assaulting it anyways. Got plenty of people to send to their graves at assaults now. Plenty of sacrifices to send. We unlocked a new law. Can't afford it though. I'm going into debt. Yeah, I gotta close down some buildings. I can't afford them. Their upkeep cost is too much. I mean, yeah, my economy is stretched to about what I can do. I'm not sure that I could afford to take much more land, just like with like actual money. It's too expensive. Yeah, my cost of quarter is just so high. Might have to just accept that we can't continue to conquer. Yeah, we're kind of at the upward limit of what we can take, though. Yeah, we're just going to take some land from Bulgaria. Let's have a peace. And then we're going to go for Serbia. I'll grab centralized bureaucracy. And yeah, we're starting to go into debt. We're in 3 loans. 2,500 ducats of debt. France wants an alliance. Sure. You want to go to this war? So I'm going to go ahead and grab direct taxation next. I'm just finishing off this war with Serbia. I don't want to pay for cost of court, man. It's so expensive. It's like not sustainable. Interest is also becoming an issue pretty fast. We can go ahead and end this war. Finish up Serbia, or, you know, some of Serbia. And let's add our land to the HRE. I think we've reached our limit. Our little economy can't support any further conquest. Cost of court is too much. So I think from here on out, we're just going to be waiting to pass some reforms. We've hopefully done it well enough that our authority growth is pretty good. So yeah, that's going to be kind of all we can do as conquest goes. Though I think we did a good job. Looks like 1.07 is going to be kind of the edge of what we're able to get. Debt is rough. I can't really afford cost of court. Buildings are just, yeah, I'm getting murdered by it. Maybe if I close on everything in my entire nation, it would be okay. I don't know. Could try it. The buildings are kind of expensive. The cost of court is really what's killing me. We could try just having a government shutdown, you know? But I think we're just going to 5-speed for a bit. Oh, God. I didn't realize there was a civil war. But France will help. That's not good for my economy. Well, actually, it really doesn't matter for my economy because all that land is not good land for me anyways. I don't even know what kind of civil war it is. It hurts our authority, though, of course. Maybe I should upgrade my cost of court right now where I don't have half the land or half the buildings. What kind of rebels is it? Oh, just another heretic civil war is all. Probably Orthodox. Bohemian revolt loses opinion. Jover. They surrendered. We do have some rebels that are popping up here and there. I want to get out of debt, but yeah, maybe I'm just gonna not pay for cost of court for a minute. Lower my legitimacy. Okay, my leader died, new king. So just you dealt with a few rebels. I've turned off my legitimacy for now because it's the hard times. I'm trying to get out of debt by lowering my legitimacy, but yeah, if I can get out of debt, that'd be great. Interest is kind of killing me, but I can't just lower my legitimacy forever. I want Parliament to be here. I'm just watching my legitimacy go down and down so I don't pay for it, so I get out of debt. Taking my legitimacy to 0 is probably not the way. I need imperial taxation. 75 authority. It's okay, we'll get there. Oh yes, there's tax season. Let's go. We're desperate here. My plan is to get out of debt and then hopefully fix legitimacy after. But yeah, I'm just kind of, my nation can't really grow any further. Just tanking my legitimacy right now, which is usually bad, or I mean, it's bad here too, but I don't have a choice. It'll be worth, right? Okay, we're gonna add a debt and then we're gonna have to start paying for cost. Yeah, we gotta pay for cost of court now. I mean, I'll pay for what I can, but yeah, it'll be fine. It won't be fine. What can we shut down? Not sure. We gotta dig deep, right? We gotta start shutting down buildings. Tough out here. My crown power is terrible too. It's tough. Maybe if I create 1 second guys again, that'll help. Get more crown power. All right, let's get someone in there. I'm like, the tiny bit of crown power might help here. It's actually a good bit, but yeah, we can like barely stay afloat. We just can't increase our legitimacy, which kind of sucks. That's fine. We just have to hold on while the reforms get through. Speaking of that, it's time to get our imperial taxation reform through. This is going to be another comfort policy. I think we can fix our legitimacy once we're able to get like another parliament. That'll be the play. Yeah, so we're just going to be dealing with the rebels a lot and then watching our outliner break, you know, classic stuff here. Put some of my crown as head of cabinet. I'm doing what I can to get some love. Just cycling rebel crackdown and trying to slow it down. But yeah, we're just kind of trying to not die right now. And we're doing a good job, you know, relatively speaking. Not die and collect authority. This is the 2 things we need to do. And I got to delete any castles too. Castles are bad. Well, for this scenario, they're bad. They're not bad in general, but yeah, I think we're just going to be rebel simming the rest of the way through the revoke, though. And it makes sense why we're rebel simming, right? Like, we literally, it's not integrated at all. As you discover here, I would probably go with the admin focus. Unless for some reason I want to do exploration, but, you know, probably not. What kind of civil war is this? France, get in here. I don't even know what kind of civil war this is. My legitimacy. Parliament can save me. Can finally fix my nation. I got to get my cost of court fixed. Oh, God. Did I lose 100 a month? For what? We're going to start getting through the imperial registry. Start getting some military contribution. This represents the last of the comfort policies that we're going to need. Yeah, it's cost of court is tough. Can't really fix it right now. I could up my legitimacy only during tax season. Oh, God. I got called into war. I don't really care. I'm not going to do anything. Do not turn on the forts. We cannot afford. Cannot afford though. Yeah, sure. Been in the war for 3 days. England wants out. I need to call in France too for these 255 guys. Just just in case. Oh no. I can't lose legitimacy. It's like the root of all evil. We're just waiting for a new tax season so we can start, getting our legitimacy up. Every time we have a parliament, we can get our legitimacy up a little bit more. But life's hard over here. We're in a rebel simulator, but I like rebel simulators, It's tax season. Let's go. We need it. We don't make money unless it's tax season. I like every parliament, I get like a little bit of, I could turn on my legitimacy slider a little bit. But otherwise, our nation is like completely crippled, We've stalled until we can form the HRE. It's 1444, we made it. Just like the borders of EU4. Slightly larger Bohemia, but other than that, pretty much the same. We're gonna pick our next law, electors' contribution. Why are we losing so much money? It's the forts, isn't it? My crown power is a big issue. Yeah, I have 19% crown power. It's the best I can do. I didn't delete a fort? Skill issue. I'll delete the forts. Annex revolter, and then delete that fort. I took a loan. What do you mean? Trying to not be in debt. Oh, yes. The RNG has bailed me out of debt. I need to put this back on. The authority growth. Damn, I have negative cost of court. Oh, I have money. I can turn it on for like a few months. Someday we're gonna get our legitimacy back to 100. Yes, money. Money. Yes, it's money time. So I'm gonna grab the next Imperial Register law. We just need one more after this. Bro, what is this? I didn't even see this, rebels. It's another civil war. Yeah, we have no control, so, we get lots and lots of rebels. This is going to ruin our authority again for a little bit. But I think we'll be forming the HRE within the next little while, and then I think that that'll be the last rebel that ever happens in the entire campaign, because everything will be integrated. All right, yeah, so our legitimacy is back to 100. That's great. We can afford to live now. We don't really make money, like, a little bit, but... Oh, yeah, they're offering me to go house site. I can't. I cannot accept. I could go house site later, but I can't go house site right now. I'm a little busy. I'm making money. Let's go. Let's go. I'm building some celebratory roads. I don't think I'll go to war, though, because, that's hard and expensive. I can maybe pass this law, though. Go for the rural noble authority. Okay, we have enough authority to pass the final Imperial Register law. Vote for the Great Imperial Army. Like I said, I'm starting to build a bit of a balance. I can build more stuff, but I'm not really too concerned about it right now. Hey, my alliance with France is back. You want to come into both wars, France? Don't worry, France. I'm a known rebel handler. I'm going to pass the next privilege, the vote for revoke privilegia. I don't know why they're doing this to me, but I don't want to go to war with the Golden Horde. All right, privileges revoked. In the year of our Lord, 1462, I have again convened the estate of the Holy Roman Empire. It's funny how this text is a lie, because it says having all member states submit to direct vassalage under the Holy Roman Emperor. That's not what happened. I think they brought this text from EU4 and then didn't adjust it. Oh, paradox. You do not get them as vassals. But they have to, all members either leave or swear an oath of loyalty. Nice, I get even more authority now. Hooray! So I'm gonna go ahead and pass our final reform, which is vote for Renovati Imperii. And here we go. In the year 1466, change the historical tag to Holy Rome. We gain Rome Reborn, 20% manpower, 10% integration speed, but we can't form any other countries. We also get a free government reform that gives us some nice things here, It's not amazing, but it's not too bad. We become an empire, all the fancy stuff. And so the whole plan with all this, not integrating anything the entire game, now everything's integrated. You can see here, so whoa, I forgot to skill issue here. I didn't add to the HRE. But yeah, so everything's fully integrated now. I guess we're missing some stuff, but for the most part, at least, it's pretty integrated. We'll get there. We'll have to integrate a few more things, but I guess Magdeburg wasn't in the HRE for some reason. He's a survivor. I wonder how our economy is going to shape up. I guess we're the economic hegemon. Why do we have the Demi? How many people? There's 366 people. Yeah, that works. How is this the thing? These people, what's going on? Why is it that I have the Demi, but the Ottomans are what is happening? I don't own that land. I have no idea. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it. A fully integrated HRE. And this is why I think Bohemia might be the strongest nation in the game. Of course, let me know what you guys think. And if you want to see a part 2 of this, let me know in the comments. If this video does quite well, I might look to do a world conquest from here. Anyhow, hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.